Welcome to your deep dive.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Today, we're all about change.
All about change.
We're using Jonah Berger's Catalyst.
Excellent book.
You guys sent in some awesome excerpts,
Really good stuff.
and we've really boiled it down
And to the essence.
to the most powerful ideas.
Absolutely.
So get ready to think about change differently,
Completely different.
because this is going to blow your mind.
It really is.
So let's just dive right in
Let's do it.
with a story Berger uses.
Okay.
FBI hostage negotiation.
Oh, wow. High stakes.
Have you ever been in a situation
I have, yeah.
where you just could not get someone to budge?
Oh, all the time.
Like, no matter what you did,
Yeah.
they were stuck.
so
What's
frustrating.
so going on there?
Well, I think
Why were they so resistant?
we often skip a step,
Okay.
a crucial step,
Right.
which is understanding.
Yeah.
Berger opens Catalyst
Okay.
with a story about Greg Vecchi.
Greg Dickey. Okay.
He's an FBI hostage negotiator.
Oh, wow.
And he's facing this really dangerous suspect. SWAT team is on standby.
So it's intense.
High tension.
Yeah.
And instead of,
Right.
yelling orders or threats,
Yeah.
he does something kind of unexpected.
What does he do?
He asks about the suspect's pets.
Pets.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems a little out of place
It does, doesn't it?
in that
I
situation.
think so.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a method to the madness.
There is.
Right.
Absolutely.
So tell me about it.
It's what's called the behavioral influence stairway model.
The behavioral influence stairway model.
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Okay, tell me more.
So instead of assuming you know what someone needs,
Okay,
you climb the stairs, so to speak.
I like that analogy.
So you start with active listening,
Okay,
then empathy,
got it.
rapport
Okay.
influence,
Uh-huh.
and finally behavioral change.
So he's not just trying to, get information.
He's actually trying to connect
Yes.
on a human level.
Exactly.
Okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah,
It's so much bigger than just hostage situation.
it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened with Greg Vecchi and this suspect?
Oh, well, he discovered
Yeah.
that this suspect really saw himself,
Okay.
despite his past,
Yeah.
as a good dad.
Okay.
So instead of threats,
Right.
Vecchi appealed to that identity.
How so?
He basically said,
Yeah.
a good dad
Yeah.
wouldn't put his kids through this
Oh.
violence,
Right.
this crazy standoff.
Yeah.
And amazingly, it worked.
The suspect surrendered.
Surrendered peacefully.
Right.
Wow.
I know. That is powerful.
Powerful stuff.
Understanding their values.
Yes.
Instead of just, trying to force.
Forcing your will.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So it's more persuasive.
Much more persuasive.
So let's move from that to
Oh, really?
something a little lighter.
All right.
Okay. But equally as surprising.
Okay, let's hear it.
So remember
Huh?
the Tide Pod Challenge?
Oh, the Tide Pods.
Teenagers.
Eating laundry detergent.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
What was going on there?
It's a prime example of what Berger calls reactance.
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 Okay.
When someone tells you that you absolutely cannot do something,
Right.
doesn't it make you
Yeah.
want to do it even more?
A little bit, yeah. Like that little rebellious streak.
That rebellious streak we all have
Yeah.
deep down inside.
Okay.
So all the warnings from Procter & Gamble
Yeah.
about Tide Pods
Right.
completely backfired
They did.
because they accidentally
Yeah.
triggered this reactance.
Oh, interesting.
They turned it into a challenge
Huh.
for these teenagers.
A way to kind of rebel.
Totally rebel.
Yeah.
Defy authority.
So it's not just teens being teens?
No,
This applies to all of us.
all of us.
So if saying don't can backfire
It can.
so badly,
Yeah,
how do we phrase things?
that's the question.
How do we encourage positive change
Yeah,
without triggering that reactance?
without that, yeah.
Right.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's about offering choices,
Oh,
not ultimatums.
okay.
So instead of saying,
Yes.
don't do X,
Right.
try saying, what if we explored Y?
Oh.
Give people a sense of agency.
So they feel like they have some control.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good tip.
I think so.
Instead of shoving it down their throats.
Shoving, nudging.
Nudging. Okay, now this next concept really got me thinking.
Okay. Lay it on me.
It's called endowment.
Endowment.
And it's this idea
Yeah.
of why we cling to old things,
Oh, yeah.
even when they're not working anymore.
I do that.
Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
What's something you've held on to?
Well, let me think.
Just because it was familiar
Oh, my God.
or you were afraid to let go?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I had this old sweater.
Uh-huh.
It was so comfy,
Yeah.
but it had holes in it.
Oh, no.
I know.
So many holes.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But you kept wearing it.
I did.
Why?
Because it was so comfy.
It was familiar.
It was familiar, yeah.
So Berger uses this really clever experiment
Okay.
with coffee mugs.
Coffee mugs, all right.
So researchers gave mugs to one group of people
Okay.
and asked them how much they would sell it for.
Right.
And they asked another group how much
Yeah.
they would pay for it.
For the same mug.
For the same mug.
Okay.
So what do you think happened?
I'm guessing the sellers wanted more.
Yeah.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Because they already had it.
They possessed it.
They possessed it.
Okay.
It was theirs.
So tell me what the results were.
Oh, the sellers wanted way more.
Way more.
Almost twice as much.
Wow.
I know.
What does that tell us about how we value things?
It shows loss aversion.
Loss aversion.
It means that
Yeah.
losing something
Yeah.
feels worse than the pleasure of gaining
Okay.
something of equal value.
So the pain of loss
The pain of loss
is greater.
is much greater
Yeah.
than the joy of gain.
Interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And that explains why I held on to my old phone
You do.
for so long.
I do that too.
It was more about the dread
Uh-huh.
of a new device
Yes, newness. Yeah.
than any real attachment.
To the old.
To the old one.
Yeah, I get that. It's
Right.
like you're so used to it.
Yeah.
The old one,
It's comfortable,
it is.
even if it's broken.
Even if it's broken, yeah.
And this applies to ideas and habits.
Oh, absolutely.
So we overvalue
Yeah.
the status quo
Yeah.
just because
Just because it's familiar.
it's comfortable.
Comfortable.
We know what to
That's
expect.
safe.
It's safe.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the best.
Even if it's not, yeah.
And this is one of the biggest reasons
I think so.
that change is so difficult.
It is.
So how do we break free?
Yeah.
Well, that is the million-dollar question.
Are we doomed
Doomed
to just cling
to cling
to our metaphorical coffee mugs?
Oh, forever. I
Forever.
hope not. No, not at all. There's hope.
Okay, good.
One technique Berger highlights
Okay.
is framing change
Okay.
as a return to something better,
Okay.
like a previous state,
Oh, interesting.
like a better past.
Okay.
He uses the example of Brexit,
Brexit. Okay.
the Take Back Control campaign.
Right.
It wasn't about something new.
Okay.
It was about reclaiming something lost.
So tapping into that fear
Yeah.
of losing something we already had.
Exactly.
So it feels less risky
Way less risky.
and more like we're restoring something.
Yeah. Like getting back to something good.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's not just politics.
Oh, no, it's everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, make America great again.
Exactly. Same idea.
So instead of focusing on the uncertainty,
Right.
you focus on a positive past.
The familiar past.
Yeah.
That's comfortable.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It's really clever.
But can this be applied to everyday life?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, give me an example.
Imagine you're trying to convince your team
Okay.
to try a new process.
Yeah.
Frame it as getting back to basics
Oh, I like that.
or reclaiming our efficiency.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
It changes the whole feeling.
Completely different.
It's not a scary new thing.
Yeah.
It's something familiar.
Yeah, it's like a rediscovering
Yeah.
or a reclaiming.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's powerful.
Okay, now for a really tough one.
Okay, hit me.
Changing deeply held beliefs.
Whoa. Yeah, that's tough.
Is that even possible?
It seems impossible.
Right.
But Berger actually gives us some hope here
Okay.
with a technique called deep canvassing.
Deep canvassing.
Yeah. Have you heard of this?
I haven't. Tell me more.
It's about having real conversations,
Okay.
like meaningful ones.
Not just surface level.
No. Going deeper,
Okay.
like really understanding the other person.
So how is that different
Well, think of...
from a typical political debate?
Exactly. Those are just shouting matches.
Right.
No one's really listening.
No one's changing their mind.
Right. But deep canvassing,
Yeah.
it's about active listening,
Uh-huh.
asking open-ended questions.
So you're trying to help them explore,
Yes. Help them explore their own beliefs.
not just impose your own?
No.
Okay, so it's more about understanding
Much more.
than just winning an argument.
It's not about winning at all.
Okay, I'm starting to get it,
Yeah.
but does it actually work?
There's some fascinating research.
Okay.
Berger talks about this woman, Sylvia Branscombe.
Sophia Branscombe.
She was a staunch Republican,
Okay.
but her views actually evolved
They did.
over time
Ow.
through exposure to diverse perspectives.
So she encountered new ideas.
Yeah. New
It
experiences.
wasn't like one big thing.
No, it was gradual.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And it wasn't about force-feeding information.
You know, it was more organic.
It was, yeah.
Like creating the conditions for self-discovery.
Exactly. And it takes time.
So deep canvassing requires patience.
Tons of patience.
And a willingness to understand
Absolutely.
the other side.
The other side, yeah.
Okay, so what about those times when we're the ones struggling to change?
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
That's like the uncertainty is holding us back.
The uncertainty tax?
The uncertainty tax, right.
Berger talks about that, too.
So it's not just about, like, devaluing potential gains.
It's the fear.
It's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, clinging to what's familiar.
Even when it's not good for us.
Exactly.
It's like choosing between two hotels.
Okay.
One's consistently decent.
Okay.
The other one's a mix of amazing and terrible.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I always end up booking the safe option.
Safe option, yeah.
I know I might miss out.
On something amazing.
But that fear of a bad experience,
bad experience, yeah.
it outweighs the potential for something great.
It's so true.
And this applies to all kinds of decisions.
Oh, it does. Career changes, relationships.
Big decisions.
Big decisions, yeah.
So how do we break free?
That's the big question.
I'll be doomed.
Doomed to the safe path forever.
Yeah, like never venturing out.
Never venturing out.
Of our comfort zone.
That would be sad.
Yeah, it would.
So how did companies like Dropbox and Zappos overcome this uncertainty tax?
Because they were introducing something new?
Totally new products.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did they do it?
They got creative.
Okay, how scary?
They made trying their products less risky.
Less risky. Okay.
Think about Zappos.
Zappos, okay.
They did free shipping.
Okay.
And free returns.
Yeah. Wow.
So you could try shoes without worrying about the fit.
Because that's the biggest barrier with buying shoes online.
Yeah.
You don't know if they'll fit.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
It was, and it worked.
They took the risk out of it.
Totally.
Wow.
And it paid off massively.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about something else.
Okay.
Corroborating evidence.
Oh, interesting.
Have you ever noticed
Yeah.
how seeing multiple people endorse something makes you more likely to try it?
Definitely. Like social proof?
Social proof, right.
Yeah.
It must be good if everyone's doing it.
Right.
But is it that simple?
It's a bit more nuanced.
Okay.
Berger says for bigger changes, one source isn't enough.
We need more.
We need multiple credible sources to overcome what he calls the translation problem.
The translation problem.
Yeah, it's that gap between someone else's opinion and our own preferences.
See, just because they love something doesn't mean I'll live it.
Not necessarily.
Right.
So we have to figure out
Yeah.
how it translates to our own lives.
So corroborating evidence helps bridge that gap.
Exactly. If we see people like us.
People we trust.
Yeah, people we relate to.
Endorsing something. It makes us more willing to try it.
It does.
Okay, so it's about finding those relatable voices.
Yes.
Those people who speak to our needs.
Who get us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is easy to get lost in the big picture sometimes.
Totally.
And forget about the power we each have.
Yeah, like our own individual power.
To make a change.
Right, exactly.
To do something.
Yeah, and those small changes,
Bugs.
those little acts of courage or kindness can have huge ripple effects.
Totally.
It's amazing.
It is.
How far-reaching they can be.
Way beyond ourselves.
Yeah, it's like that butterfly effect.
Oh, the butterfly effect.
Have you heard of that?
Of course.
It's a small little flap of the wings.
Yeah.
And then somewhere else there's a hurricane.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But it shows how connected we all are.
We really are.
And speaking of connection, let's go back to corroborating evidence.
Okay.
We talked about how the source matters.
Yeah.
Like, we're more persuaded by people who are like us.
Like us, yeah.
So it's like that moment when you go to like an AA meeting.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I'm not alone.
I'm not the only one.
These people get it.
They understand.
Berger shares another example. It's about health and wellness.
Okay.
It's a program called Healthy Me, Healthy We.
Catchy name. It is.
What's it about?
It was aimed at encouraging African-American women to get mammograms.
Mammograms, yeah.
And this is a demographic that often faces barriers.
A lot of barriers.
To healthcare.
Right.
So how did this program use corroborating evidence?
Well, they knew that the typical campaigns...
Like public health campaigns?
Yeah, public health campaigns.
Didn't really resonate.
Didn't really work.
So they tried something different.
Okay. What did they do?
Instead of relying on like doctors or experts, they recruited local women.
To be community health ambassadors.
That's awesome.
It is.
So they use people from the community.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Trusted voices.
Trusted voices.
Yeah. Shared experiences.
That's so important.
And these ambassadors,
Yeah.
they had overcome those barriers themselves.
Oh, wow.
To getting mammograms.
So they really got it.
They understood.
They understood, yeah.
And it wasn't just about sharing information.
Right.
It was about
support, encouragement.
A sense of community.
Yeah.
Like we're in this together.
And it worked. It did.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They saw a significant increase in mammogram rates.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Really good stuff.
It's so powerful.
It is.
How understanding and community can really create change.
Powerful change.
Even in areas where those typical approaches fail.
Exactly.
And it reinforces that message that anyone can be a catalyst for change. It's not about your title or your position.
It's about understanding people.
Understanding and using that to make a difference.
To change lives.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to challenge our listener.
Challenge accepted.
To think about where they can be a catalyst.
Ooh, I like that.
What are those parking brakes?
Holding you back.
What are those small changes
steps
that you can make today
that
can have that big impact?
Huge impact.
And remember, change starts with understanding.
Understanding, yeah.
It thrives on connection.
Connection, right?
It flourishes.
It flourishes.
And we empower each other.
Empower each other.
To embrace those possibilities.
To embrace change.
And that's it.
That's our deep dive?
Your deep dive.
Into change.
Into the world of catalysts.
Catalysts for change.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you found it helpful.
And we hope you learned a lot.
And we hope it inspires you.
To go out there.
You be the change.
You want to see in the world.
You got this.
Yeah.